Okay, so I thought I would do a bit of like a 7 month review. I was planning to do one at 6 months, but hey ho, things happen, busy life. And you can imagine running a Pokemon shop, there's a lot that entails with that as well. But in general, the shop has performed beyond my expectations, if I'm honest. I didn't expect to be in the position I am now when I first opened up the shop. Our daily targets, we're smashing those, which I'm so proud of, because obviously you come into a Pokemon venture like this and there's always a bit of, you are a bit scared going into it, because when I was opening up the shop, I was thinking on that night, that Friday, and we were open on the Saturday, oh my God, is this going to be a bust, or is this going to be a bad idea? But when I got rid of all those free booster packs within the first half an hour, and the total that we did on that opening day Saturday was beyond belief kind of thing. I did not expect to have such a busy opening. And then obviously we opened in that October, so there was a lot of work to try and get the word out where the shop was, building up to Christmas and stuff like that. And there were times in, late November, it was a bit quiet, not scary quiet, but I'm kind of thinking I need a bit more people coming in. I need to do a lot more in terms of social media, in terms of marketing, all that sort of stuff. And all that kind of work behind the scenes, it has really paid off, because I have a lot of regular customers now that come every week, that come to see me, come with the collections and things like that, which is always so appreciated. To like all my customers, everyone that comes in, I really do appreciate you all. You guys kind of give me my livelihood, which is a really big thank you to you guys. But I will keep doing my best to evolve the shop. There are plans that I'm going to go into about how the shop is going to hopefully evolve, with a few ideas up my sleeve. But the Pokemon market is a crazy market in general. It's hostile, it's overhyped, incredibly overhyped. Prices of cards, what we're seeing now, if you go back even 6 years ago, would never normally be what they are, especially after the release of like Phantasmal Flames. Obviously the Charizard was a big card, and that card obviously keeps going up and up and up, and obviously when it's graded even more so. But going back 7 years ago, we didn't have these such high prices on new release cards. And normally what would happen, you'd have a hype of an individual card, and after a few months that card would settle down to a normal price. But obviously we're not seeing that so much. Obviously it does level out to a degree, but the big cards seem to hold their value a bit more so, and especially that Charizard one being a good example. Others like Zygarde from Perfect Order, obviously when released it was going over £100, but that card now has really come down quite a bit, that SAR Zygarde. So it's a crazy atmosphere at the minute. I'm not one of the sort of people who can go and queue outside Smith Toys, Sports Direct, all these kind of places. I'm not the person who would do that myself. I've never done it before. I don't need to do that right now, because thanks to you guys, the people in my community, having the contacts who I know can always help me source products and stuff like that, which is a good thing and a bad thing. I'm currently in the process of waiting to go up to a next tier of distribution. So as soon as I get that distribution, I hope I can offer you guys better prices on collection boxes and things like that, and have that kind of stock coming in more regularly, and having a variety of maybe more theme decks for people who want to play the TCG, all that kind of stuff. But it's a work in progress. But with my distribution, I have to buy into certain other things in order to make the Pokemon work. It's not as simple, you just get Pokemon. You go to Asmodeor or Mudlet, for instance, they want you to take on Magic, they want you to take on all these other things as well. It's not just Pokemon you can go and buy into. So at the minute, I'm kind of building up my rapport with my distributor at the minute. and buying in other things that are going to hopefully supplement me when the time comes I do get that access level up. So that would be exciting. It's something to look forward to. But once the market settles down, if it is going to settle down, I'm quite high up on that list. So hopefully it won't be too long until I can give you guys better prices and things like that. One of the plans for the future though, I am in two minds about expanding the shop. That is a possibility, but that comes with lots of obstacles as well. Obviously it becomes, I have to have more of an outlay of expanding the shop, having more and more products, but then there's a kind of one of those situations, what else do you fill it with? So I could go into Yu-Gi-Oh, could go into Magic, One Piece and all things like that. But obviously expanding, it changes the whole business dynamic as well. So at the minute, I'm probably going to sit on the year, have a full year before expanding the shop or anything like that. Because I do get asked a lot, do you do other TCGs? So I know there's a market in my area for it. It's just having the right time come around to do that. So that's another thing I'm considering. One of the other things that people often ask me, I get asked a lot, you know, do you have any advice? What it entails to open a Pokemon shop and things like that. A few people have reached out to me. Shout out to you guys as well. And yeah, I go to card shows a lot of the time, and you know, I hear other people, multiple people saying, yeah, we're looking to open a Pokemon shop and all this and that. Where, you know, we do a lot of vending, we sell a lot of sealed and everything like that, but it's not quite as straightforward as, you know, you can queue outside of Smith's and you can get sealed product and sell it on for the inflated price. There's an awful lot more to it than that. Just because you can do that doesn't mean it's going to work out fully running a shop when you've got overheads, when you've got rent, when you've got your council tax, your insurance and everything like that. There's an awful lot that you need to consider before just thinking, yes, I'm going to open up a shop, or a group of you open up the shop. You have to think of your location. Location has been my biggest thing. Before I opened the shop, I wanted to make sure that I had regular footfall. I wasn't paying over the price of being on the high street. If you're on a high street, you're going to be paying a lot of money wherever you are because you're high street. And those companies, obviously, like, for instance, Collectors Card House, Dean and Chloe and Harry, credit to you guys, you have an amazing business. And obviously who they are in the hobby allows them to have such a fantastic business and shop. But for your average Joe like myself, you know, I'm not big on YouTube, 2,500 subscribers, appreciate you all, each and every one of you. But I'm, you know, just an average Joe who had a passion for Pokemon 23 years ago. So I've got awful lot of experience, 23 years of experience within the hobby and a little bit of the playing side as well. So your experience has to be considered, and the people around you, what their experience is as well, because it's not just as easy, like I said, queuing outside, getting retail prices on sealed product and then selling on. There's a lot more to it than that, because the amount of questions that you get asked within the hobby, you do have to know your stuff. It's an absolute given. And there's a lot of people in the hobby who are maybe bigger than me. Well, they are bigger than me, who don't even have my experience. Not that I'm trying to toot my own trumpet, but it's a factor that you have to consider before you open a shop as well. It's not as straightforward as what you can get hold of. It's been able to identify a card to identify the market when it spikes, when it comes down, and all things like that. Because I look at the market every single day, see what's fluctuating, see what's not, and with those measurements, you have to make the best decision whether you buy into something or not, because that can either affect you positively or negatively in the long run. And as a lot of you know, I have done a lot of Pokemon investing in the past, and through that experience of my older content, pretty much everything that I mentioned before has all come up in price. So if you want to check out those videos, there's some really good videos. If you're just looking to collect sealed products, the sort of things that you need to identify, there's lots and lots of tips in my previous videos on how to do that and what to look for in the market. When I was posting those videos, it was very heavily based around Sword and Shield era, which is still relevant today because you can still find Sword and Shield products out there if you know where to look. I try and get them as much as I can. We've got the Electro box sitting just there, and that obviously has Lost Origin packs inside, which is a no-brainer in my mind, and that's why I've got a collection of those, because I know they're going to go up in price over a long period of time. So little things to look out for, and which obviously helps with the knowledge of when you're having a business as well. Having that experience and identifying the market for so many years and understanding the trends and stuff like that, it all really helps. So like I touched on, overheads. I run the shop myself. I have help from family that often come to the shop every now and then if I'm going to a show or something like that, but generally it's myself that is running the shop. I'll be the first point of contact that you'll come and meet, and yeah, I'm very fortunate that I can have just myself as my only overhead and have the business structure of that way, because if you have overheads you have to take a wage from that as well. There's a lot to consider when you're wanting to open the shop in the first place. So before I opened the shop, I did a lot of marketing at car boots. So I moved from Sterling about 3 years ago now to Harpenden, and I went to my local car boots like Stanborough, Redbourne, Nash Mills, Potter's Bar. I went to these places. Obviously I didn't fully know that I was going to be opening a shop, you know, 2.5 years later, but it came around. It really helped, because when I had secured everything with the shop and I knew I was opening the shop and I was quitting my full-time job to pursue the dream, then I had already made those contacts around me. I had already given out my flyers, people knew of the channel, and they knew who I were to a point. Obviously I'm not big on YouTube or social media, but around my local area most people knew of me generally. So doing something like that was really beneficial, really helped me. When the shop opened, I knew I had customers that were going to come on that day, and they did, and that really helped to kickstart things in the business in general. And that is something that you really want to take into account, whether you're going to shows to vend, having your business card, give people that, oh, we're opening a shop, this and that. You need to get your word out there, basically. It's not just as straightforward as open up the shop, no one knows who you are. And I like to think over that time of being on YouTube, I've been on YouTube for nearly over 10 years now. Not that I really honed in on YouTube or focused on it. I always done YouTube as a hobby, but even some of the bigger names like Vivian Collectibles, we had done previous deals in the past. That obviously helped me as well, and he obviously came to the shop and done a video, and I got a lot of footfall from that. So shout out Viv for that as well. I really appreciated when you came down. And yeah, now I have the LabCon guys. You've probably seen them on Instagram, Sam and Harry and everyone, and Chas of course. They're regulars to my shop, and obviously they've shown a lot of support for me, and I'm going to try repay them as much as I can as well. But again, it's building that community, helping other people out. When I went down a few months ago when they had their last show, I didn't want any money. I just wanted to help and be around people. I wanted to buy some stock for the shop, of course, but it's also an opportunity to get your face out there. By the way, I've got a shop here, blah blah blah. You can, you use the community to your benefit in order to get the word out about the shop. And that was my whole kind of purpose, to go to the shows and stuff. I don't go to as many shows as I'd like to. I'd like to go to a lot more, but over the next year or so, I'm going to be trying to get to a lot more shows. Maybe not to vend, but definitely to get my face out there, help out, and if I can with any other shows and things like that, doing more of that community side of it. But obviously when it comes to the marketing, like I touched on before, I did a lot on car boot, and now I still do the car boots. I still aim to try and do at least 2 a month. If I can do 4 weeks straight, depending on the weather, then I'll try and get out the car boot, because the amount of footfall that I get from car boot, generally when I open up the shop at 2 o'clock on a Sunday, not every time, I'll always leave a note out, but I have about 7 or 8 people come from the car boot now coming to the shop to see the full collection. So car booting, although it's car booting, don't knock it, because it has supported me to where I am today. And now I have a Pokemon shop that I absolutely love and adore. And it's one of those, it's, without sounding too mushy, I mean, like I said, I was just an average Joe. You know what I mean? I didn't have bucket loads of money to open the shop or anything like that. I just wanted to try and pursue a dream. I wasn't happy working for big corporate companies, and I always believed that I could do it. I believed in the knowledge that I had, and I took the punt and I went for it. And now, I guess I am reaping the rewards of that. Not saying that I've got tons and tons of money, because I definitely don't. Not to that level anyway, but it's been the best decision I ever made. But there are a few points that I've made that you really have to consider before you open up a shop. It's not as straightforward. You need your face out there, your location is so important, your overheads, you have to think about overheads, your rents. You have to do all the figures beforehand before considering going anywhere near a shop. If vending is working for you, carry on vending, because there's also the argument, what happens if the Pokemon market crashes? Then that is a different question you have to ask yourself, and what are your contingency plans when or if that ever happens. Another thing I forgot to mention about was that we are going to be adding Pokemon birthday parties, because obviously those who come to the shop on a regular basis and stuff will see next to me there is a pizzeria that is going to open. Nothing to do with me or anything, but we are going to be collabing in the future when they open, and we're going to be doing birthday parties, pizza and Pokemon. Seemed a bit of a no-brainer, and yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It brings a whole nother dynamic to the business and something else to think about, which is really cool. Bit different. I don't know of many people who are able to do that, or are doing that, I should say. So yeah, lots and lots to think about, plan for in the future, but really looking forward to it nevertheless. But please leave a comment in the comment section if there's anything that you want to see me do in the shop. It can be anything to do with TCG wise, anything like that, certain products, certain collections and stuff like that. But yeah, in terms of collections, if you're ever looking to shift your collection, do get in contact with me through my social media. You can hook me up on Instagram and send me pictures of what you've got. That's always really appreciated. But yeah, it's been a hell of an adventure. It's Saturday today, and it's been a good day. Lots and lots of trades coming in, so always good to get more stock coming into the shop. But yes, until the next one though, guys, I really do appreciate you all. Hit the buttons for me, subscribe, like and comment. Really does help, and I always appreciate the support. But yeah, I'll give you another update in a year when we hit a year on how the financial year has gone and everything like that as well. But I'll see you guys again soon.